Welcome to Overdrive AF, the official podcast of Overdrive Fitness. My name is Teddy Gerzon, and I'm joined by Gina Marie Gerzon.
What's up, guys?
As always with us, special teams coordinator, Destroyer.
What's up?
Somebody asked me today why your name is Destroyer. And I said, because you come from a long bloodline of conquerors of the Eastern Bloc. Descending from the Caucasus Mountains.
It's a huge backstory. Like a little book about it.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be like an Arnold trilogy of movies. I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of ridiculous movies, I read that there is a glimmer of hope that there could be a sixth Rambo coming out.
Oh my god. Will it ever end?
Well, because in the fourth one, did you see all of them? I made you watch them all. Do you remember the one they went to Burma?
I don't remember it. To me, they kind of like bleed together at a certain point.
Maybe the first and
It's
second,
one really long.
but the third one's really bad.
Right.
The fourth one, they go to Burma.
Mm-hmm.
The original story for that was they were going to try to, because in the second one, which is technically the first Rambo, because the first one's called First Blood, but in the second one, they talk about, they actually mention that he's of Native American and German descent. So Stallone said he's always wanted to bring it back to his original heritage and somehow tie it into like where his only safe space in this world is on an Indian reservation. I was like, bro.
This is new.
Yeah. I got excited.
I don't know about that.
I was like, let's do this. But the problem is the last movie he made cost $50 million to make, and it only grossed $100. So.
And that was in Burma?
No, that was the one with the Mexican gang that we saw.
Oh
I
my
really
God.
liked that one. But I don't think it was woke enough for this world compared to Terminator.
Oh my god.
That was really bad. That Terminator was awful. But I digress.
Maybe he can do a straight to streaming kind of thing.
I'd be down.
Rambo the series.
I am a homebody, so let's do it.
Why not?
Speaking of greatness, we are watching the Olympics as best as we can, even though NBC decides not to actually show anything from the Olympics. They'll be like, oh, so-and-so won a medal. Like, thanks for tweeting about it. How about you fucking broadcast it?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen more of the Olympics on like Bleacher Report than I've seen on TV.
Yeah.
We can't even find anything.
Yeah.
We were excited to see a lot of the track events.
Like, you're going to show me the full
Two.
women's marathon, but not a 4x1? The fuck is wrong with you? Like, what? I don't get it. I don't get it. At least we were able to watch some throwing events.
That was really amazing.
Yeah.
Considering that the discus, the lady who won the discus for the USA was, I mean, totally right? She just totally not the type of makeup that you would expect.
Yeah, you would expect most throwers to be big people.
Like,
big
she
boned
looked
people.
like more of a, I don't know, like a 400 meter runner or something. I don't know. Instead of she looked fabulous.
Mhm.
I mean, and she
Valerie
threw,
Ullman.
I forgot her name. Amazing. But, yeah, it's been really disappointing.
The coverage.
Yeah.
The results have
absolutely.
been pretty dope.
Yeah.
I will honestly say I've actually seen more wrestling coverage than I ever have. Probably since Kurt Angle won a gold medal on a broken freaking neck.
Oh my god.
Wasn't it like the 25th anniversary of that the other day or something?
Is
I
it?
know there were a lot of.
Yeah, that makes
postings.
sense because 1996.
Yeah.
Nice. We should have opened the episode with his theme song. Da-na, da-na.
I feel like I just keep stumbling into Olympic coverage rather than like the concerted effort of trying to watch it.
I'll love how I'll Google it. I'll be like, all right, when is this race on? And they're like, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay, let me put it on. What's on? Fucking equestrian.
Yeah.
Like, replays. It's not even live. Like, why can't you show it live?
The races are so exciting too. Like all the not medleys, but the 4x1, the 4x4,
Mhm.
all of the team events. They're exciting.
Yeah. That's like the stuff you think of when you think of the
And I think I heard that this is like the first Olympics where they're actually having there's like some co-ed relays. And
which is pretty cool.
show me that.
Yeah.
Fucking show me that.
Yeah.
You know? So we had some wrestlers that killed it. Gable Steveson,
And you know everybody's name, but what was the young lady that won for USA?
Adeline Gray, she got silver.
Amazing. No, I thought she won gold.
Oh, the black woman. The black woman won gold. The white woman got silver.
It was she, and who was she?
Mensa, I think is her name.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, she crushed it, and she only started wrestling like 10, 12 years ago.
148 class, right?
It's amazing.
148 class.
Yeah. And they're like, did you ever imagine yourself winning this? She goes, yeah, I always believed I could win a gold medal. And I was like, that's dope. That's fucking dope. Very patriotic, too.
Oh my God.
What else? Oh, Sydney McLaughlin. She won the 400-meter hurdles. That was awesome. So both 400-meter hurdle races, men's and women's, even the silver medalist broke the previous world record. So imagine breaking the previous world record and settling for silver. I shouldn't even say settling. You earned silver. But like, that just means the people that won gold, they shattered the previous world record. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing. So that shit's been super exciting to me.
Who's that woman who went to Harvard and then also just won like a gold medal
I don't know.
in some race?
I don't know.
Look it up.
That sounds familiar. I know. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think.
They were just like listing her accomplishments like even before like medaling in the Olympics.
Her like personal accomplishments
Yeah.
or on the track?
Personal. And she's just like this
I don't know.
crazy, like amazing student as well as being an
Student
incredible.
athlete.
Do you know what
Oh my
race she
God.
ran?
Yeah.
No, I can't remember. I just sort of, it's again like I just stumbled.
And
like
she won gold?
Yeah, like I walked into the room
Black?
and it was on. Yeah.
I wonder if it's A-Thing Mew. I could be wrong. She won the 800. And she's on the 4x4. I really want to see that race.
She wasn't favored though, right? She wasn't favored to win that race. I don't think. Was she favored to win that race?
I don't know if that was her. I think A-Thing Mew was one of the
She's
favorites.
on the 4x4.
She's on the 4x4. Cindy McLaughlin and Delilah Muhammad are in the 4x4.
Oh wow.
And they finished gold, silver. And Allison Felix is on the 4x4.
That's gonna be a great one. I hope we can get coverage for that. It's so disappointing.
Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. But I'm very happy for all the athletes. You know, some people had an issue with men's high jump where they both got gold. After the year everyone's been through, and like you both have the chance to come home with gold, like as a tie. Who gives a fuck?
Did they both hit the same height?
Yeah, and they both did their last attempts. So the judge was like, the guy from Qatar and Italy, like, all right, we can have a jump off, and then the guy from Qatar just jumped in and said, he's like, can we just get 2 golds? And the judge was like, yeah, like, but that's up to you guys. And there was no question. He looked right at the Italian. He goes, we both won. And then they embraced, and he's like, oh my God. It was dope.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's great.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah, great sportsmanship. You love to see it. So yeah, anything else to add to the Olympics? Oh, American basketball won gold.
Finally.
Thank God.
Got to watch a basketball game.
I didn't even get to see it.
Yeah, it was on like 10:30 at night.
We
What
got
was
to
I
see some fencing.
Oh yeah, we watched some
We
fencing.
did get to see some fencing.
Still don't understand
And let me tell you, they
it.
were all in on that. Talk about
Yeah.
high intensity there. They were.
Yeah, those are like those crazy events where like I don't understand the scoring or like
Yeah.
because they're Olympic level athletes.
Right.
Mhm.
Like of course everyone looks great. It's like with diving. I watched diving the
Yeah.
other day, and they were like, "Oh, they're gonna lose points for that," and I was like, "Fucking hell."
How? Like, how much more crisp do you need that movement to be?
One person that won gold recently in diving, I saw like that person's final dive, like literally no splash.
Yeah, I think that's how like
Precision.
laymen can like tell
I was like, what?
that if there's really like no splash at all, that means
I've barely seen any weightlifting, which is crazy.
Hmm.
Like, people think of Olympics, they think Olympic lifting, track and field.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not show the world those two things.
What I found was really strange was the new
The modern pentathlon?
modern pentathlon. They're shooting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is that a track and field event? I don't get it. What encompasses the modern pentathlon?
I have no idea. It
It was so funny to see somebody who looks like a marathoner and they're shooting a whatever type of gun that was. I don't know. It was like,
It looked.
I don't
It was
know.
a weird looking pistol.
it was very strange. Like, I don't know even.
Yeah, it would have been modern for George Washington.
I don't know.
It's like, what is going on? From the 5 seconds we watched, it wasn't enough for me to actually want to Google it, and I Google
Yeah, no,
everything.
That was frustrating to look at in a
Google
sense.
everything. Yeah, it was annoying. So yeah,
Yeah, it was Gabby Thomas, by the way, the athlete I was thinking of.
Oh.
And she won bronze instead.
Bronze.
in what event?
Jeez. I don't know. I'm looking at this article, and it barely says.
It doesn't even say?
No. I guess that just goes to show.
Way to drop the ball, NBC. Fucking peacock.
I don't know. I'll
Yeah,
throw
me
it up
too.
on like the video version, or I'll just insert my voice saying like.
There you
insert
go.
event here.
200 meter.
Yeah.
I remember watching that race now.
Yes. Okay.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh, she went to She went to UT also, on top of Harvard.
Yeah, she's like this crazy accomplished
Wow.
student.
Would she do Harvard grad school?
I think so, yeah.
That's amazing. So she's like,
She's like a
oh no,
genius. and-
graduated Harvard, studied neurobiology and global health as an undergrad.
Amazing.
Yeah.
She's pursuing her
Yeah.
master's at University of Texas at Austin in epidemiology.
Yeah.
No big
and
thing.
then also just won bronze at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
Easy.
She ran a 21.87.
Amazing.
I mean, the woman that won it, Elaine Thompson Hera, she's from Jamaica and she's absolutely amazing. So, yeah. Oh, Gabby Thomas is on the 4x1 team. She's the anchor.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show you the preparation and what caliber of like athlete all of these different types of athletes are. The fact that how they handle the stress, you know, like going back to the whole mental health and respecting somebody's mental health, even from a couple of podcasts ago. Being able to handle all these different types of stressors that are thrown in, and she had to get ready for how many races?
Yeah.
Qualify, semifinals, and finals.
Mm-hmm.
And because the 200 had those,
Yeah.
because of the amounts of people that were allowed to compete, you know.
I always thought that was great, like knowing your body so well that you put in just enough effort in the qualifying heats to move on, and then you have enough in the tank in the finals to win, to lay it all out,
Mm-hmm.
put it all on the line, and then break a world record while in it. You know?
Knowing your bodies, and then your coaches too, and your your recovery team that kind of came along with you to through this whole experience.
I think what we've gone through with COVID and everything globally, I think it's just a sign that we really need to get the beer Olympics going. The USA team drinking.
Oh my God.
Maybe we can finally crush Germany in Das Boot.
Was there curling this year in Olympics?
That's winter.
Oh, that's winter, right?
Yeah, but the American curling
Duh.
team looks like the cast from Super Troopers. I love it. I absolutely love it. They look like a bunch of guys that like drank too much one weekend, and they're like, oh, let's try this, and they're like, holy shit, we're really good at it. Guess we got to keep drinking to do it. So yeah. What else was I gonna say about the Olympics? I don't know. I mean, from the coverage sucks, but I am glad that I can, with a lot of Googling, I can finally find some clips of what's going on. I love how Hulu's like, they have this whole thing dedicated to the Olympics, but there's like 1 minute of everything on there.
Yeah. Well, that's been Hulu's thing for years. What they said, like, we have live sports, and then
Yeah.
like every single team was like cutting ties with them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They didn't want to pay the full price to actually keep this.
Yeah, I know. I joined Hulu and cut cable, and I specifically chose Hulu because of Yes.
Yeah.
And then they dropped the Yes network, and I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, we bought Hulu Live to watch Nets games, and then like halfway through the season, they were like, "We are no longer carrying the station."
I want my money back.
I've heard that NBC is trying to get people to use Peacock by putting a lot of the Olympic coverage
Oh,
on that.
horse shit. And you got to pay for that, right?
I don't think you do. I think if you want it ad-free, you have to pay. But otherwise, if you watch with commercials, you can
I'll
just
look
use
into it. I just think it's like, why am I even paying for any of this then, you know?
Yeah.
It's garbage. So, I mean, back in the day when we wanted to watch the Olympics, it was just on TV. We just had to adjust the rabbit ears on the TV. So. And now I gotta fucking Google it. What the hell's going on here?
All that time wasted.
Yeah. Speaking of time wasted, time efficiency, let's just get right into the topic for this week. One of the most common things we hear every time we get a new member or a new member in person or online is like, really, how often do I need to train? You know, like, how frequently do I need to work out? How many times a week do I really need to do anything to see results, right? And there's really a sweet spot of training frequency, but it's all based on the individual. So, like, if we have someone coming in that's completely sedentary and, like, hasn't moved in 5 years, we're not going to tell them to come lift weights 5 times a week. We might tell them, like, all right, why don't you walk for 20 minutes every day for 2 weeks? And then we'll revisit what you can physically do without dying. You know, like, some people, they are not that out of shape, so we can throw more shit at them and just really gauge through our experience the eyeball test and see, like, what can they really handle from day to day, right? So, but as far as, like, I guess if you want to call it sports science or training, to get specific, it's there's something called, well, since I'm looking at the camera this way, I should start on this side in this spectrum. So it would be minimal effective dose, maximum recoverable volume, right? MED, MRV. So in short, it's really, what's the least amount that I need to do to see progress, and what's the most I can do without breaking down. And it's sometimes the window is more like this, and it really depends on the individual and the outside stressors in their life outside of training, because training is stressful, right? You have to put stress in the body in order to see things grow. Most people live in this area. So, like, if the window's here, they live here. They're either way too lazy, they don't want to push the envelope,
Should I move over
they're
a
fucking
little?
soft. And then there's this side where they're fucking neurotic. They're basically, actually, I'm just gonna come out and say it, they were addicts in a past life, and now working out's their new addiction. So, like, they're doing too much, and they're constantly like, oh, I don't know why my shoulders hurt. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's because you did 1,000 butterfly pull-ups every fucking day. Who knows? But I digress. So, I mean, I know there's a lot you could add to it. It's at the end of the day, you got to find the sweet spot. That's why we track everything that our clients do, right? We ask them to log. We hold them accountable. You have to log everything you do in your workout, right? So that we look at it over time. And if you're only doing lateral raises with 5 pounds your entire fucking life, then, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, if you're only squatting body weight for 10 years, you know, are you really creating enough stress? And you keep gaining weight, you keep getting fatter. Like, clearly you're not doing enough. We got to find that sweet spot for you, right? But there's a lot of other things that factor into it, like nutrition and sleep.
Yeah, and absolutely. So the amount of sleep you're getting, the amount of stress you're putting on your body, the amount of stress you're putting on your body in your workouts, the type of food that you're eating, how much you're eating, how little you're eating,
If you're eating.
If you're eating in general, right.
We've had that happen recently.
Hydration. Men and women are made up differently too. Hormones, muscle fiber type, and the like. Normally, a genetic predisposition for whatever. So all of those things play a part. What goals do you have?
That's huge.
Is there a deadline? Is a doctor telling you this, that, and the other thing?
Yes.
Health-related issues, sport-related issues, deadlines for whatever.
Did you mention injury history?
No.
I thought you did. That's why. I'm like,
I didn't get you.
yeah, no.
Injury history. Your past, your past, whatever had gone on in your past. Gosh, I think you covered so much of it. I don't even have anything else to say.
No, I think you covered more than me. Yeah, it's like, but all those things are super important, and I mean, we could dive into every single one of them if we wanted to, but we're not gonna have the time. All right, but specifically, let's go into nutrition, right? So, like you said, to recap, you said like how much you're eating, how little you're eating, if you're even eating, right? The types of foods that you're selecting, right? Are you supplementing? That's a lot. People will spend, and this is what's crazy to me. They'll spend money on training, but and so on a scale of 1 to 10, right? As how badly do they want to succeed? It's a 10. But overall, when it comes to fitness, nutrition, and accountability, they're only putting in maybe a 3 worth of effort because they're only focused on the training. Hence why we're talking about this topic today, because people think it's only that, right? But when it comes to nutrition, like, yes, all the foods you're choosing, when you're eating, how much you're eating, how little you're eating. Gina knows more of it than I do. She does all the nutrition here, right? But we highly recommend supplements because they help bring up any deficiencies, or even in most cases, they accelerate people's journey to get to their goal.
They accelerate the results, and they allow the results to last.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you say so?
That's the most important part, that what you just said, to last.
Because at that point you're within that consistency bubble. And then we wouldn't, obviously, for somebody who's extremely sedentary, who maybe has 50 or more pounds to lose, as opposed to someone who is, at that lean body fat, training 4 to 5 times a week, and wants to push it that extra 10%. Though the goals and their stressors are going to be very, very different. Their minimum effective dosage and maximum recovery volume is going to be extremely different. So, we have to gauge it appropriately, and at the end of the day, everything else that goes into that has an effect on both of those things. How much you can train, how well you can recover, the fact that you are sleeping the appropriate amount, the fact that you are eating the specific types of foods, supplementing appropriately, keeping your stress to a minimum, modulating your stress, and not just in the gym or in your training area, but outside of it.
Very important. Always overlooked. Always overlooked. It's okay to, first you got to identify the stress, and don't deny it. It's okay to admit it. Like, a lot of people will get stressed, and I'm just talking in general. It's not a shot at you, from their spouses and significant others, but they don't realize it. They're so used to it. They're so used to it every day, right? We have the perfect marriage, so I mean,
obviously,
we never fight. Because I'm always right.
Obviously.
So that's the key. So if you're gonna learn anything from this episode, the key to successful marriage is the wife knowing that the husband's always right. So that's how things work. I'm pretty sure that's how the world works. I could be wrong. I could be sleeping on the couch tonight. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. But then I fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
And we don't have stairs.
Right. He likes to wash the dishes, so we're good.
I actually do like to wash dishes. And I do like to clean.
Well, I mean, if I cook the food, he washes the dishes. I mean, it's a good partnership.
Well, because he can really fucking cook.
Because
So,
he
like,
doesn't like to cook. And
The quality is so fucking
It's
good.
a balanced life.
What?
It's a balanced life.
It is a balance. Like, if Gina slaves in the kitchen and puts out the most amazing food all the time, which she does, I will clean every
it's
fucking
healthy.
thing. It's healthy, yeah. And I will clean every fucking thing. And the food's so good, it releases so many fucking endorphins. I'm not stress cleaning. I'm having a great time. Because I'm like, oh, my stomach's fucking full. But
I was gonna say something else.
that actually also helps us. That situation helps us really figure out like where our stress levels are, and like that balance right there. There's no stress there, you know. People need to understand too. Their careers, their occupations, their jobs, that gives them a lot of stress. Not only mentally, but sometimes physically, especially if you're sitting all day, and then you're worried about getting 12 workouts in a week on 4 hours of sleep.
And more isn't always better.
Exactly.
Sometimes, like they always say, less is more. What would be the minimum that you need to do to stress the system to give you the results you're looking for? The look, the feel, the whole, the well-rounded picture. Everything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, one person might need 3 workouts to accomplish what they're looking for, the goals at hand. That next person might need 4 or 5. Maybe they need some walking or some running or some sort of extra conditioning thrown in there, depending upon what their goals are, what they're looking for. Was there a doctor that kind of was stepping in and told them, look, this is what's got to happen? Or maybe an athlete coach that said, look, this is what's got to happen, or parents, or whatever the case.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that actually goes back to, like, especially coming down to the individual. I remember going to I even told you about this. I went to a seminar at the Priestley Speed School in Fair Lawn several years ago, and I mean, there were a whole bunch of speakers there, but I really only went to see one person, and it was Dan Paff, right? And he was telling us, like, he really opened my mind to, like, you got to look at the individual, right? So he was saying this, how he had 3 sprinters who he trained, and these guys are like Olympians and world-class athletes, and all 3 of them reacted to different things. So, like, one guy sucked in the weight room. Every time he lifted weights, it just fucked up all his times on the track. So he wound up finding out, all right, he does very well when we focus only on sprinting, working on his technique. And the reason why is that guy probably was strong enough to succeed at his sport. There were just efficiencies in his movement that he had to improve. Okay. Then there was another guy that he could only train, that includes practicing and lifting, 3 times a week. 3 times a week, that's all his body could take for stress. And I think it was like an hour maybe at most. And he's a world-class athlete. He wasn't in the gym and on the track, 24 hours a week. It was literally just 3 times a week. If he trained any more than that, he'd be sick for 2 weeks. His immune system would actually break down.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was another one who thrived in the weight room, and everything he did in there carried to the track, right? So I know you always hear us say, like, too, like, it's for athletes at least, you can be strong and not powerful, but you can't be powerful without being strong, right? We need to find out through our athletes. First, we build their foundation, make sure that's solid. Then, and that could be in 2 or 3 times a week, or 5, 6 times a week in microdose, right? Depends on the individual. Some people we got to keep busy because they're so destructive outside of here. So, anyway, it does come down to the individual, and you have to look big picture. You have to look long term. You can't too often, especially mainly with the athletes, not even with the adults. The athletes the problem we always see, and I would say it comes mostly from the parents. They're like, all right, fall sports start in 2 weeks. Can my kid come in every day for the next 2 weeks, he needs to put on size and get faster. And I'm like, sweet. I mean, I wear flip-flops, but I can't walk on water. So I'm not quite Jesus Christ. I would say probably not at all. But
it's playing the long game, like we were
Exactly.
just discussing before. It's being accepting the fact that in order for you to really succeed and succeed long term and allow everything from your habits, your process, everything to really solidify. I mean, we preach that all the time to the athletes and the adults. The whole losing 30 pounds in 30 days and then you gaining it right back, or going balls to the wall for 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks in the gym and then injuring yourself at some point during the season, that it does, obviously it's not going to pay off in the long run. We want to see all of the hard work that you put in continue to pay you forward, continue to pay forward. So, when we talk about these things, when we preach these things in the gym, when we talk about it on the podcast, when we're constantly communicating with everyone through the app and messaging and everything else, that it's about the consistency in what you're doing and trusting in the fact that every step that you're taking, you're paving the way for success, not just 3 months down the road and 6 months down the road and a year down the road, and your body acclimates to the change, because again, right, with all these habits and the process, you continue to become more resilient and stronger and more durable, more precision. Like your body becomes more precise in everything. So you just play the long game. Waking up feeling sore AF all the time to the point where it's like almost you're dragging yourself to the gym or dragging yourself to the track or dragging yourself to the field. Like it's not healthy. It's not normal. That's actually extremely stressful, and you're producing all the hormones that actually want to pull you back into bed and pull you back maybe into the bar because you just want to party and you don't want to train, or pull you into the pizza shop and just eat. And all those things are part of your balance, and we would only say to do those things appropriately. Like we should all be balancing our lives. We should all be doing those things, enjoying our company, having fun, going out and getting pizza. If we want to go get a drink at the bar with our friends or whatever, all of those things should be happening, but there's a time and a place, and that's balance too, right?
Yep.
And if you're trying to get into the gym, let's just say you're getting into I gotta get it there, I gotta get my running in, I gotta get my sprinting in, I gotta get my lifting in, 6 and 7 days a week, day in and day out, single and double days of training, your body will break down. And if you're kind of hitting it from both angles, and you're not eating properly, and you're not sleeping, and you're not modulating your stress, then at some point the machine breaks down. The living machine breaks down. So, it's not like we just squirt a squeak of oil and we're good to go. Like you actually have to, your body will force you to recover. So whether it's an injury or a sickness, right? Your immune system becomes extremely compromised, and from within, some sort of inflammatory process has to happen. It shuts you down.
Rhabdo.
Well, yeah, that's one way. That's definitely
It's
one
one way
way
to shut you down. So
So I think that's
yeah,
pretty
so
much it.
how often do you need to train? You need to figure out that sweet spot and be consistent there. That's it. I mean, in a nutshell, that's it.
And collect data.
Yes. Log, document, record.
Photo.
Yes. Progress photos are a big part of, keeping yourself accountable and documenting your journey.
And people giving you that nice feedback, like, wow, that was your best, you looked solid on that 10-yard sprint, or my gosh, you're looking great, your clothes, that shirt looks really good on you, or your lift was like, that was pristine, that lift, like things like that. When you're getting feedback from outside of you, that's even better.
So yeah, I think that about covers everything, right? Speaking of deficiencies in nutrition, and you know, just as a weekly reminder, if you want the best supplements in the game, check out Prestige Labs. You can go to overdrivefitnessny.com, click on Prestige Labs, and just to remind everyone, it's, you know, not only do we highly believe in everything they do because we take them daily, right? They help us accelerate our growth. There's a reason why we're getting quality results, not only with ourselves but with our clients, and that's because they're quality products produced in the same facilities as Whole Foods. So, I mean, there aren't many supplement companies out there that create a quality product that can pass all these rigorous tests. So, you know, you get what you pay for, but do you want to invest in your health once over the entire course of your lifetime, or do you want to keep paying for health insurance and doctor's visits that should be deemed unnecessary? For the best protein in the game, as far as, let's say, breakfast protein, always check out Muscle Egg. You can go to muscleegg.com/overdrive and get 10% off on your order. I'm a big fan favorite of strawberry, which tastes like strawberry Nesquik. Cake batter. They call it fruity cereal, which is just Fruit Loops. It tastes like Fruit Loops. Fucking get it. It's amazing. Vanilla is always pretty solid. Then there's chocolate mocha and chocolate caramel.
And you can use it in baking.
Yes.
You can put it in your shake or your smoothie.
Mm-hmm.
You can make some kick-ass French toast with it.
Yes, you can.
Any like
Facts.
pancake batter recipes. What else? Oatmeal.
You throw it right in your
Anything
oven.
that's like a baked product, or you want to add to a recipe, it's solid.
I usually go IV with it or freebase when I'm feeling dangerous. So. But
You're
anyway.
starting to scare me now. Okay.
I don't even think it's possible, so it's fine. And I'm
I
not
don't
going
know.
to try.
I don't know.
I'm not
now
even
that
trying
you
to find
threw it
out.
out there, people are going to try. I don't know what you did there.
That's just the world we live in.
Wow.
Kind of like how Bloomberg, during every hurricane, Bloomberg would have to come on the TV and speak in his shitty Spanish to not go surfing in the waters. It's like, you know what? Don't even say it. You shouldn't have to tell people that. Yeah.
Well, that's where you'll have the...
Like, I love Point Break, but you'll never see me at Bell's Peak in Australia looking for the 50-year storm, okay? So, that's about it for this week's episode of Overdrive AF. What is the date?
7th.
So by the time the next episode is being recorded, I will be getting prepared to partake in Casey O'Keefe's father's golf memorial.
Yes.
So that'll be interesting. We'll recap that and my shenanigans and all 24 golf balls that I'm probably going to lose that day.
Well, it's the point that it's a great cause.
It's a great cause.
It's a great cause.
Chuck's Pups.
Chuck's Pups, yeah. And Casey's a great person.
Yes.
And he's doing wonderful things for himself. So he's really
A lot of
gotten
growth.
his life back on track,
Mhm.
and he's inspiring a lot of people too.
Absolutely. Bring in the juice. All right, so that's all we got for you this week. We'll catch you on another episode next week at Overdrive AF. We're out.